If someone put $10,000 in your hand today, what would you do? Pay off debts? Invest it? Buy something you've always dreamed of? Or, as is the case with most people, would that money disappear before the end of the month? The truth is that without organization and financial control, it doesn't matter how much you earn. Money will always slip through your fingers. And you know what's worse? It stops you from building the freedom you deserve. Today, I'm going to show you an absurdly simple technique that works for both those who earn little and those who already have a good income, and that can get you out of debt and on the road to wealth. But first of all, I've already liked the video, because it helps to reach more people who are also in need of this turnaround. And if you're not already part of our community, click on the subscribe button and activate the bell. Now tell me in the comments, if you won $10,000 today, what would you do with that money? Mindfulness. The first step to changing everything. The biggest difference between rich and poor is in their mindset. While most people think about how to spend their salary as soon as they receive it, the rich already decide how much they are going to save and how much they are going to invest before anything else. Poor people tend to see money as something scarce that needs to be used quickly or it will run out. Rich people, on the other hand, see money as a tool that, when used well, multiplies and works on its own. That's why those who get rich make money while they sleep, while others trade time for money. And it's no use just cutting costs and saving. The secret lies in creating the mindset of an investor and wealth builder, even if you start small. It's the habit that matters, not the initial amount. Anyone who understands this will never get stuck in debt or run out of bills again. The game of daily choices. The second factor that separates rich and poor forever is daily decisions. Small choices made every day, almost without realizing it, shape anyone's financial destiny. Buying on impulse, financing what you don't need, paying in installments unnecessarily, and living to impress others are typical behaviors of those who will remain poor. On the other hand, those who build wealth know how to prioritize. Instead of thinking, how much does it cost per month? They think, how much does it really cost? And ask themselves, is this going to put money in my pocket or take it out? This awareness transforms your relationship with money, making you buy assets rather than liabilities, invest before you spend, and create multiple sources of income. In the end, it's these invisible day-to-day decisions that define who gets rich and who gets stuck. The difference between investing and saving money. Another point that marks the definitive difference between those who become rich and those who remain poor is the way in which each person treats the money they have left over. Ordinary people are content to put money away in savings or leave it idle in their current account. The rich, on the other hand, know that money sitting idle loses value over time. That's why they learn about investments, study, test, and create sources of passive income. It's not a matter of luck, but of decision. And if you think that investing is only for those who have a lot, know that the wealthiest people started with small amounts, but with the right discipline and mindset. The important thing is to start. Because anyone who learns to invest discovers that they can earn money while doing other things. And that's when financial freedom begins to emerge. The power of the right connections. Another decisive factor that separates those who get rich from those who go under is who they hang out with. If you hang out with people who spend everything, complain about life, and run away from any conversation about money, the chances of you repeating the same pattern are extremely high. Now, when you start connecting with people who think big, talk about investment, plan business, and seek freedom, your mindset naturally changes. The rich know that their environment shapes their decisions. They go to places where they can learn, form partnerships, and discover opportunities. And the good news is that today, with the internet, this has become more accessible. You can follow channels, join groups, and consume content that feeds your wealth mentality, even if no one close to you does. Start with the most powerful habit of all. Finally, the biggest difference between those who become rich and those who become poor lies in the habit of learning. Millionaires are eternal students of money. They read, watch, take courses, and try out new ideas. Those who remain in the doldrums, on the other hand, are content with what they already know and are always complaining that investing is risky, it doesn't work for me, or this doesn't work. Information is the most valuable resource there is, because it shows you paths you didn't even know existed. If you make a habit of learning a little about finance, investments, and entrepreneurship every day, in a year's time you'll be a different person, more confident, freer, and much better prepared to build the wealth you deserve. And the best part, no one can take this knowledge away from you. The invisible cost of bad decisions. There is something that few people realize, but which silently consumes the financial future of those who don't understand the game. The invisible cost of bad decisions. Every unnecessary purchase, every opportunity ignored, and every time you leave money idle or poorly invested, it's costing you dearly. Not just for the amount spent, but for what that money could have become. People who get rich are aware of this all the time. They calculate not only the price of things, but the value they would lose if they invested that money in something that grows. While many people spend $500 on something superfluous, the rich think, if I invest that at 1% a month, in 10 years, how much would I have? This kind of mentality makes you look at money strategically, like a seed that can multiply or die depending on where you plant it. And believe me, this invisible bill is the most expensive one that most people pay without even realizing it. The difference between living on appearance and living on peace. Another decisive point is that people who remain poor often prioritize appearance, while the rich prioritize peace of mind. This means that many spend what they have, and what they don't have, to appear successful in the eyes of others, while those who build wealth prefer to remain anonymous and watch their money grow. It's that classic saying, the real rich don't need to prove anything to anyone. Those who become rich know that having financial freedom is worth much more than the latest cell phone model or a car they can barely afford to keep. They live below the standard they could, while many live above the standard they can afford. This silent difference in attitude is what builds the solid wealth of some and the financial slavery of others. Because, at the end of the day, what matters is not what you show, it's what you keep, invest, and make multiply. If you've come this far, it means you're tired of living in debt, bills, and financial worries. And the good news is that you can change that. The difference between getting rich and staying poor forever isn't in your salary, luck, or the government. It's in your mind, your daily decisions, and the way you make money work for you. And to finish, I'll leave you with a quote from Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The only difference between a rich person and a poor person is the way they manage their money. So, if this content made sense to you, like it now, subscribe to the channel and share it with someone who needs that financial turnaround. And let me know in the comments, what change are you going to make today? I want to see who's going to put it into practice.